Hi there and welcome to another video from Hegarty Maths. It's Mr. Hegarty here, and in this video we're talking about short division. Let's start off by doing a link to our previous learning. Previously on Hegarty Maths we've learnt that division and multiplication are related to each other. Do you remember how I said they were? They're the inverse of each other. So for example, if we know that 5 multiplied by 2 is 10, we also know another multiplication fact, namely 2 multiplied by 5 is 10, but we also know two division facts, namely 10 divided by 2 is 5 and 10 divided by 5 is 2. So multiplication and division are intimately related, they're the inverse of each other. And what did that mean? Well, that meant that if we know our times tables, we know how to do our various divisions, and I really urged you in previous videos, so go back and look at those if you haven't. I urged you to be fluent with your times tables and hence be fluent with your division facts. And if you are, I promised you life in maths would be much easier, and here's an example of one of the things why it's going to be a lot easier, doing some short division. Right, let's put all that into practice and do a question. Suppose I was asked to work out 99 divided by 3. And what that means, again, just to remind us, it means how many 3's in 99. Now, there's a method called short division method which enables us to work out this process. I'm going to show you that algorithm or that method, and it's a really useful way for us to work these divisions out rather than that's not a fact that we know, that's not in our times tables, but we can quickly work it out. This is what we do. The 99 we write here, and we are dividing it by 3. So we're going to do this sign here, and you may hear that called bus stop or etc., but we use that sign to mean division, and we're dividing it by what we write outside is the 3. Now, what we ask ourselves is how many times does 3 go into 9? Now, it's not just 9, it's actually 90, so this is our tens column, but we can just think of it as 9 as single digits. It makes our life easy. How many times does 3 go into 9? That's a division fact of ours. We know the answer is 3. And then we've done that one. How many times does 3 go into this 9? Again, the answer is 3. So the answer to this problem is 33. And we could obviously check it by doing a multiplication. We could check that 3 multiplied by 33 gives us 99, and indeed it does, so we check by doing the inverse operation. Let's have a go at a slightly harder one. You may want to pause the video if you understand this, otherwise watch me do this. When we write divisions, we are allowed to write divisions with a line and write the number over another number. This means 725 divided by 5. 725 over 5, they mean exactly the same thing. So sometimes you'll see it written like that, sometimes you'll see it written like that. Either way, you know it's a division, and you know to divide the top number, which we actually have a name for, and we'll see this in fractions later. The top number is called the numerator, and the bottom number is called the denominator. So please have a look in fractions later for more detail on that. But this means we are taking 725 and we are dividing it, so we do this sort of bus stop sign, they say, by 5. We ask ourselves, how many times does 5 go into 7? Well, it goes in 1 time, because 1 times 5 is 5, but we have 2 left over, 2 remainder. So we put that 2, those 200s, into this column here. And that's now a 22. We think of it as 22. How many 5s go into 22? Well, we know 5 times 4 is 20. So it can only go in 4 times because 5 times 5 is 25, that's too big. So it goes in 4 times, and again we get a remainder of 2. How many times now does 5 go into 25? Well, it goes in 5 times. That's one of our division facts. So the answer to this question, when someone asks us what 725 is divided by 5, we can say that the answer is this top number here, 145. Next question. If you want to pause the video and do this, feel free to. I'm going to write it out the way I showed you. So 1026, and we are dividing that by 3. I'm going to ask myself, how many times does 3 go into 1? And I'm going to write it doesn't. And I'm going to carry that 1 over to this column here. How many times does 3 go into 10 now? Well, 3 goes into 10 3 whole times, because 3 times 3 is 9, left over 1. How many times does 3 go into 12? It goes in 4 times exactly. How many times does 3 go into 6? It goes in 2 times exactly. So going up to my original question, I can say that 1026 divided by 3 must be 342. And that's it for this video, the short division algorithm. I encourage you to practice the questions in our assessment section to get really good at this, but I hope you found that useful, and thank you very much for watching.